This video was digitized from a reel of silent 8mm film, and it's of the British Army 131st Paratroop Commando Regiment, and I think it's circa 1956. It said 1956 on the film box, and the manufacturer date for it was 1956. So that's correct. There some of the film that I did have on this, because I do have several videos of the 131st Paratrooper Commandos on my channel, and some of that film does creep up into the early 1960s. But yeah, this is just some great footage of them, as you can see, doing river crossings. And you know, and of course, it started off with them with some sort of metal bridge, like a Bailey bridge, something like that. And now they're just getting into using whatever they can to you know, to ford to cross this river. And so it's, you know, obviously some sort of training. And you know, you'll see as it goes on, and even in this little section right here, you can see across on the other bank, there's like a facility. This is definitely some sort of training facility. I have no idea where in England. If you know, please leave a comment. I always enjoy getting, you know, I'm from the United States, so I always enjoy getting these films from other countries, and you know, getting to see other military units in action. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. This one's pretty long, 16 minutes. So I'm just going to you know, put some backing music in and not try to narrate the whole thing. But if you enjoy this type of video, like and subscribe. I try to upload patriotic and military videos on my site every other day. And if you're interested in a good read, check out my books at www.edsimilar.com. And yeah, enjoy the 131st British Commando.